Good evening, Free Enterprise fans, and welcome to the VOD review of the Survivor Hero Island Club. My name is Garen, the club captain, and serving as the quote-unquote narrator, I guess, this season. I'm in the booth here with Xenocat. Thank you for joining me, Xeno. We've also got Joker Mage handling the restream, and Nirokod doing the tracking. How are you doing tonight, Xeno?
I'm doing all right. Excited to see what these racers have already run for us. That is right. We are doing a VOD review, which means that they've already run their seeds. They recorded their VODs for us to be nice and are letting us showcase what they've done. So just in case you see them in chat, if they happen to be there, know that they're not getting spoiled. These happened a while ago.
Yes. Although, given the nature of the club and reality things, I do spoil a little bit of the beginning, but just the opening stuff. So, for those who haven't seen Survivor, I kind of can't imagine there are many people, but the idea is each of the heroes is going to run one race during the season. And at various points, we're going to vote off some of the heroes. As it turns out, there's actually a vote coming after this race, so stay tuned for that. And each of the heroes is going to have a little bit of some objectives that are specific to them, and then we're just picking random objectives to throw in on the side. So, the flag set for today, we've got six objectives, as you can probably see there on the screen. Endure comedy, play music, eat the traitor, it will kill, fire the summoners, and get based. Uh, in other words, we're going to defeat Golbez, complete the Tower of Zot, Cave Magnus, have Coco forge the Legend Sword of the Adamant, burn the Village Mist, and defeat the Baron Castle Basement Throne. The only objective that's going to be common to all the seeds is having the Legend Sword forged with the Adamant. The Golbez, Tower of Zot, and Cave Magnus are the Ella-specific objectives in the seed, and Mist and Baron Castle Basement Throne are just because that's what the randomizer chose when I rolled it. The flags get progressively harder as the weeks go by. The winning racer gets to basically vote for a flag they're going to make a little bit harder. They also get to vote for a flag that the next winner can't touch. So, with all that said, the flags this week are relatively simple, I would say. I mean, we've got main and moon objectives. Uh, the treasure's on wild next tier 7, so the adamants are out there potentially in the wild. The shops are also wild, and we got all the characters available to us, and we've got the standard glitches on, and it's meant to be fairly easy in the beginning and get a little bit harder as we go along. So, yeah, this should be a good race with Tella. I mean, Tella's always a very fun hero. We haven't seen him in a while because he wasn't in the OMG tournament. He's coming back with a vengeance, and this should be a good race. I guess with that said, anything else to add, Zeno, before we get this thing rolling?
Not really. I am very much excited to see this, what these two runners did. I know these two runners have been doing pretty well, I believe, in these club races so far, so
Okay, sounds
definitely.
good. So, if we want to give it a countdown there, we'll start the race in about 5. Joker, so when it's on you, feel free to get us started.
Yep, we'll see if we can get this going. Oop, there they go. The VODs are going, and we are off. As a note, we will not have audio on Tallgrant's side at all, just because we did not get it with the VOD, but we'll be listening to Maddox audio for this restream, and it looks like we are off Tella and Sid with a rat tail to get us started.
And 50 bestiaries.
Yes.
In this club flag set, there is actually a random kit that's going off every seed, so in this case, it's bestiaries. How wonderful. Tella's memory is already bad enough, let's just confuse him with a bunch of books.
Hey, these are good books. You can actually use them on bosses to find out what they're weak to and stuff.
That is true, and that's probably helpful for Tella, because he's probably forgotten.
He probably has, you know. And I don't think Sid's gonna be Sid. The fact that we got paired with Sid and Sid has the peep ability, that's amazing. He needs all the help he can get remembering what all these enemies do.
So Talgrad's setting off for the Watery Pass, as Matic is taking a look into Baron.
We see two more of our party members, Yang and Rosa, just having some tea. Maddox decides Tella knows better than to interrupt tea, so we're not going to do that.
Right. On this flag set, all the characters are here, but they also happen to have the buy flag on. So to say no to a character, they are gone for probably the rest of the seed because there's only one dupe in the whole seed.
Ooh, that is spicy. You really have to. The seed really forces your hand to decide, do I want this character now, or am I going to say goodbye to this character forever and hold out for a better one?
Yep. So I mean, it gets easier as the season goes along because there'll be fewer characters in the pool. But for right now, it's like, yeah, you gotta take a tough one there. It's like, do you check the item or I think you'll take Rosa anyways, but you never know.
Yes, Rosa tends to be one of, if not the best characters in every flag set, so uh, I don't think our runners will be too picky about picking Rosa up, but there may be some other characters, and we might see, especially if the Hobbs character is someone that's could be used, that could be really useful, but isn't necessarily the best, like Iridia or a Porum, we might see our runners opt to just ignore Hobbs and leave her up there, just in case.
Yep. I mean, unless it's exactly Golbez, because there's a boss hunt on in these flags. There's
Yeah,
no demist value, but Golbez is on the objective list. We have to find him first somewhere.
this is true. I don't think our runners will be fading about either Demist or Golbez if they do stumble into them.
But demist they could. I mean, the
Oh.
Bedward is on in this
Oh,
particular.
okay. Dead Bedward is on, so Demist doesn't matter. But Golbez, if Golbez is at Hobbs, yeah, we're gonna skip. We're gonna go ahead and not care about the character too much if it's someone we're on the fence about. Plus, we're not committed to characters. There's no permajoin flag, so we can always just say, "Oh, I want you for right now because you're better than not having a character." But first chance I get, goodbye.
Talgran has found a black belt, an ogre axe, and a curse ring on the backside of the watery pass here, so Tella can anchor away at this point.
Look, I am of the opinion if it's any sort of weighted treasure setting, T Wildish T Pro, and you don't have vanilla monster in boxes on, just loot the back of Watery Pass. You can loot the front too, like sure, but do loot the back of Watery Pass. It always has good stuff in it.
I mean, it is wild. So, I mean, if it was wildish, I'd say yeah, definitely. But with wild, it's like you go to the value.
Wild, yeah, it's less valuable. On Wild, you just want to blow open all the boxes in Dampium. There's so many boxes.
Our runners did that. I don't think they found anything particularly good in them, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It is Porum and an Ashura. That's a fight that would take forever because Porum can't hit anything at this level, and Ashura is not going to attack unless she's hit. So it would just go on forever.
Yeah, we're gonna have to intervene here and rescue Porum and Asura from this stalemate here.
Yeah, Matic is making use of those stardust that he picked up in some of these treasure chests. I think there were at least two.
Yeah, both runners are using the Ogre Axe on Sid to get a lot of work done on this Asura. Porum gets a decent amount of experience here. That'll help her out. Tella and Sid get a little bit, but it's not enough to level them up because they're a little more experienced, let's say, than Porum is.
You could call them experience resistant.
Yes. But, I mean, going up the mountain and stealing Porum's kill, they wouldn't do that. They're gentlemen.
Speaking of doing gentlemanly things, we found a heroine robe for our Porum here, so that's great timing.
Oh yeah, Porum will now be able to just tear through this.
Multiple charm rods in the back of Hobbs, so value there too. Ninja shirt. I heard it was Vengeance and Swag Rocks. Yes, the episode title. Looting out the
Yep,
rest
just
of...
fixing all those things real quick.
okay, the imps and the production staff will be beaten tomorrow, probably. Bulbus is very hard to work for, apparently. Can't imagine why. Get a peek here at the boss in the Antlion Cave. It is those dark imps that are responsible for the production errors. Alright. Punishment immediately.
Oh boy. Yeah, these guys aren't going to be too scary here. They've only got like 300-ish hit points.
333 and a third, however that happens to round up or down.
I don't know. And I don't think our runners really care.
No, we shouldn't be doing math on stream anyways. That's always a
That
deadly thing.
that sounds like a bad idea.
At about the same time, and we find it's the magma key.
I mean, hey, we can get underground now.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't even sound silly to say it.
No, I was saying that very legitimately. We can get underground.
Indeed. It's probably good for Tella because the hook route can be a little bit trying on the old man.
Yeah.
Matic is going to show us, though, and I think Tallgrass is going to do the same thing, the Fabul defense. So we're saying no to that magma key for right now, trying to find some other value. There's an X-Kill here for sale.
That might be a little bit pricey for our party here. Plus, you know, we haven't found Cecil yet, and I don't believe this is an Omnidextrous seed.
It is not. We do find an evil wall, though, attacking the Castle of Fabul. So that's not bad to see here. I mean, they're going to get through this, I think. It's just going to take a couple turns. Nice to be a Power Staff or a Berserk on one of these casters to speed it up, but, you know, it is what it is. Ogrex is doing very much work in the early going here.
Oh yeah, this Ogrex I think is the MVP of this seed right now. Even more so than the Heroine Robe. I hate to say it.
Yeah, I mean, and I know I ran this thing through. I didn't find the Ogre Axe, so that definitely made my early game a little bit harder.
Oof. And hey, did you want a seed wide open? Because the seed's wide open now.
All right, Darkness Crystal, we can go to the moon. We can go anywhere. Other than the hook route.
We also can't really break into Baron Castle or go into the Sealed Cave, but basically anywhere.
And the moon objectives are on, so this opens up 5 checks in lunar subterrane.
Yeah, I somehow I don't think our runners will be terribly eager to rush those, but you never know.
You know what else it opens up?
Oh boy, T-Machines.
Money is on the table because we've got a Tella. Really do our deals, we got the weak spell. And we have tons of curatives. I'm sure that elixirs will show up somewhere. Not elixirs, ethers. Cheaper E.
I was gonna say, I don't think we quite have the money for elixirs.
It's alright, just loot an adamant armor from somewhere and sell it, right?
Oh yes, that's exactly what the strategy is. Loot adamant armor, sell it for elixirs. I'm sure we'll see both of our runners do that.
That could be as catastrophic if we see it on the stream as if there'd be a pink tail that dropped it or a pink puff that dropped it, but that's another story for another day. Oh, great, is going to get that D-money on the table by going to Mount Ordeals. Matic will probably be hard on his heels as soon as he finishes shopping up here in Silvira. Bit of an out-of-the-way shop. Oh, we're gonna check a Bedward actually instead.
Yeah, this is our first look maybe at what Edward has. Tallgrant has decided to climb up the Mountain of Ordeals to unlock the D Machine because you do need to get weak on Tella, and Tella doesn't remember it yet.
You see that the blue robe here is a water hag. So that's free.
Um, Anna, I'm sorry, Edward's not here right now. Edward's over on Maddox's screen, or will be maybe soon.
Yes, we'll see what kind of value the Bard has found on his ocean journey or ocean cruise or whatever it was that went a little bit awry.
Just a Stardust Rod.
Well, that's very helpful for that Tella with the Ordeals fight coming up.
Yeah, it's definitely useful. It's not progression, but you don't really complain about a Stardust Rod. It is the best black magic stick in the game.
Indeed. It'd be really useful if we get someone like a Palom or a Fu to show up somewhere who can do a little bit more with that.
Yeah. Well, hey, look, it's a Mist Dragon.
Yes. This is not value, it's just a little bit of a time sink if it goes into Mist phase. Nothing off the Mist Dragon today. It won't even burn Mist for us, sadly enough.
Yeah. Well, the dragon has turned into mist, but even though there's this weird mist behind us, we can't just walk away. One would think that with the back attack here, where we're crossing the bridge and we're trying to get into the shrine, this strange mist is attacking us and just turns back into mist every now and then. We can't just go hide in the shrine.
I was wondering for one in the shrine.
Oh, I see. Right. Yeah, oh no. However, will Sid and Porum deal with this mist dragon with Tella out of the party?
Probably as well as they would do with him in the party, other than having to wait for his turn to pass.
I suppose Blink is a moderately useful spell.
Yeah, Porum's a little bit squishy here. Attic opens the Texas chest. It's only 10 gold for the trouble.
Yeah, not really worth it.
Alright, and Matic is going to go and assault this water hag as Tallgrant is finishing up on the D-Mist.
Yeah, both of our runners trying to get this Tella online as fast as possible. It is generally considered a good idea to get Tella online. Spells are good.
Unfortunately, that Porum misses out on the experience here with the D-Mist, but
Oh well.
there's plenty more to come.
Yep. And the mist has crumbled into dust. I don't know how mist crumbled into dust, because mist is made of water. But, sure.
The elements
At
of
least
this
I
game
think
are a
it's made of water.
little bit freaky.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what happened with that dissolve, but it's gone. Until D-Mist shows up again for Matic.
It reconstituted itself very quickly to jump screens.
Yeah. Okay, Tella, time for your biggest ordeal yet.
And all of a sudden, you have no idea how right you are with that, as you will see here in just a second.
Well, we're gonna find out who Tella's inner demon is.
I think it'll make a whole lot of sense, actually, and we see that there is a Baron key here.
Oh, cool. We can
Rabbit
get
hole.
back into Baron and fight Ruby.
And this is the Nemesis. Computer for an old man.
That does make sense, yes. Tella does not understand computers.
Yep. Luckily, there's a Stardust for and a Gaia drum for Tallgrant, because otherwise that lack of a Stardust rod would be a little bit troublesome here.
Yeah, that Stardust Rod is gonna be rude. Oh no!
Oh boy!
Oh no! So yeah,
was
that's why you can't do that. Turns out using that doesn't quite work. But that's the problem that the Stardust Rod doesn't solve.
I guess it depends if you get one turn off or two.
It does. I think Tella's not going to be fast enough to get off 2 turns here, though. This spot is not terribly fast, but it is just fast enough for Tella.
We're going to see if Matic has any better luck with this. As Tallgrant tries attempt 2.
Digging through the inventory, we don't really have anything. Let's try bonking. Ooh, that... Maybe. Maybe if we bonk the CPU enough.
I think the key to this one is that CPU has to take a turn for the wall. So if that Stardust can get off before, I think the wall shows up, I think there'll be a chance.
Maybe, yeah.
I know Matic looted it, so let's see if he's going to try to use it.
There's the wall. There's the Stardust Rod.
Takes out the 2.
Oh, Grant managed to get through. Grant managed to high roll the Gaia Drum and do enough damage with the Gaia Drum, just barely enough. I think it was almost exact damage on the CPU. And got through.
That is very good use of items there. I don't know how I managed to get the Stardust Rod off twice on my run with this, but that's what I managed to do with it.
It turns out it's possible to get a Gaia Drum to roll like 830 something damage. It's not easy, but it can happen.
May the dice be with you. Alright, so Tallgrant now has the D-Money grind online. We'll see if it's going to go right away or get a couple more characters first, because at Barrack you might burn a hole in the pocket.
Yeah, that Baron Key does give access to another character, which would be very nice. We generally don't really want to do the D-Machine grind with not a lot of characters. It is certainly... you should get more benefit out of it with a full party.
See, Tallgrant's going to backtrack on the Bedward.
Yep, gonna go find out about the Stardust Rod.
And think to myself, oh, that could have been useful about a fight or two ago.
Yeah.
We know that Rose is sitting in Baron Inn, so we know that's there. Addy is taking a couple hits on the CPU, and might use the Stardust Rod, maybe when it's taking a bit of damage.
Yeah, softening up the CPU a little bit, just to make sure that the Stardust Rod will actually knock it out.
I'm telling you, he should be a little more accurate than that.
He's trying his best. The CPU's in the back row. How can you expect him to hit something in the back row with a stick?
I was expecting you to talk dirty to it or something. It's a computer. Come on. That's the that seems to be what happens around my house when some of the people ask for help with technology or something.
Tallgrant has committed the ultimate sin of interrupting Rosa and Yang's tea time, and therefore must be punished.
Yeah, unfortunately, this Yang is not in a position to do much punishing because one hit at that Ogre Axe and down he goes.
But surprise, Rosa was actually 3 Maga Sisters in disguise.
That's a little bit rude.
Well...
And Mindy is so eager to get the fire spell off that burns her own sister in that case.
Yeah, it would be rude if Mindy didn't want to burn up her sister.
Looks like we had some airships visit. Okay.
I don't know what happened. It's fine. We're just not going to question it.
There we go. Alright. Tallgrant is through, gets a Rosa and an Earth Crystal for the trouble.
Oh,
You're probably
good.
gonna
Now
rent
we
that
can go to
treasury
Zot and then route Zot into Baron. Oh, wait, we're already in Baron.
from Baron to Baron. We'll
Yeah.
see. That treasury could be good. I mean, it's T
Oh,
Wild
yeah.
Group,
It
so I
is.
mean,
Yeah, it is 18 chests that are all very densely packed, so it's a decent place to loot. Plus, there's two more characters up in the Tower of Zot if we really want to go fishing for the uh, big heavy hitters.
it's also an objective, so they're probably gonna get there at some point or other.
That is true. We do kind of have to do it. Just a little bit.
We don't have to, but if it blocks anything else, you're gonna have to come back at some point.
It's strongly encouraged.
We have arty arrows sitting here in the Baron shop. So Heron robe, arty arrows. This Porum and this Rosa could do some real damage with that.
Yeah, meanwhile, Matic has found Bacchus wines in the Agate shop, and it looks like is ready to head underground.
Yes,
Says,
don't
I
throw
know
a
you,
tent down the
Rosa.
well. That's not what we need to do here.
I feel like throwing a tent on the wall would work out really well, though. You can use it as a parachute.
It'd work out pretty well for Timmy at the bottom of the well, but not gonna open the mountain.
No, I suppose not.
Algren is gonna check out this Baron Castle first, though, and see what is sitting down here. It will also open up the basement check. That's something that happens to be free.
Yeah, I mean, that is another objective. We have already seen Water Hag, but there's still a few, and we did see the Dark Imps as well, which are selectively free. Situationally free, I should say. But there's a few other bosses that could be free, and it looks like Matic just wanted to get rid of the Magma Key for now. Is going to be headed back over to Baron Town to join Tallgrant here.
Yep, is also going to interrupt the tea party here with Rosa and Tella, Rosa and Yang.
Yeah, it's funny when Yang gets mad, he just attacks you and kind of falls over really quickly. When Rosa gets really mad, she turns into 3 different people.
Well, if you had to be, in love with a Dark Knight, a Lunarian, and a Paladin, you might end up with a 3-way split personality too.
I suppose so.
Just depends on which one of the 3 you wanted to love that day, I guess.
I guess. Meanwhile, we have all 4 of the Theans have been demoted to front door guard in Baron Castle.
Yeah, so we have Quarterleg guarding the Baron Castle.
Yep, just
And that's going downhill pretty fast. We need that ice to get off here.
that'll do.
Alright, so who is the true king of Baron today? Any bets in chat? And a great surprise, it turns out that Quarterleg was guarding Full Leg.
Wow. So Rubicon really said, "Hey friends, we're all gonna get together and guard the front hall," and then we beat them, and all the friends ran away, and Ruby was like, "Let me retreat to my fortress so I can be stronger. Retreat to my throne, which gives me extra power."
Now, unfortunately, with that Boreas there, it's not going to work out too well for Ruby.
Yeah, he's not having a good day.
Neither is
poor-
Porum.
No, that's not a good day, either.
And luckily,
But
that is enough to take it down. So there we go.
yes.
Leg is no more.
We are done with all of the legs on Grant's side.
Attic is going to raise the whale.
Sounds like a reasonable thing to do at this point. I mean, there is a character up on the moon that we could go see who that is. We do find Palin here in Baron.
A more useful user of that Stardust Rod.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we have Palamon, Porum, and Tella in the party. Oh, yeah, this sounds a lot like Vanilla. And Sid's here too, and he's normally joining at this point as well.
Yeah. But fortunately, Pal and Porum don't have to sacrifice themselves to get us out of here. We can put up our other statues that one of our party members made at some point.
Thank you, Tella, for not letting the kids get stoned.
Yep.
We're gonna see what's in the royal chamber pot of Baron. That's a spoon.
I guess that's where
I,
they keep their cutlery, and we were like, hey, there's a spoon in here. Let's go. Let's take
I,
this.
I don't want to know why there's a spoon in there, and frankly, nobody else in the production staff wants to know that either.
No, no, we're good. Grant is good too. Grant's gonna go do Zot now.
Yep. Full blasting the overworld here. Still holding on to that magnet key. And not raising the whale. So, I mean, getting all of the early checks out of the way here.
Well, we may not have to raise the whale if we get access to all of our objectives.
Actually,
Oh, we do. There is no pass.
A little note here: the pass is not on in this flag set yet. The runners do at some point have an option to turn that on, but the cost of doing so is you have to give up the Bedward free item.
So they will have to raise the whale then to go fight Zeromus.
Yep, unfortunately. But we'll see how long that stays in place. I didn't think that Zeromus was going to turn on the very first race that was won, because last season Z was off for all but one race. This season the racers chose a little bit differently.
Yeah. It looks like Matic is setting up a D-Machine grind, counting steps here outside of Mysidia to get the right encounters to set up the D-Machine fight upon getting to the Giant. So Matic just wants to go for power overwhelming even with only 4 party members and maybe a 5th from the moon. Whereas Grant is spending a little more time, I think, looking for those powerful party members, like that Palom even, who can be very strong with a D-Machine grind.
Yep, it looks like Matic is going to get the moon character on the dais first, and we'll go in with a full party of 5 then.
A full party is generally recommended for a D-Machine grind, so...
Considering it enables the slingshotting, I think it's advised.
Yes.
Let's see. Who is the mystery character on the dais? We have got a Kain.
Kain's alright.
He jumped so high, he jumped over the moon.
Yeah.
And landed on it, apparently.
Not going to get the same benefit that this Palom would have gotten from the D-Machine, but it's still a pretty solid pick. Really, in this position, I would love to get Sid out of the party in either runner's shoes before doing a D-Machine, but Matic is just going for it.
Yeah, well, probably figures it's a race. Sooner the better.
Sooner we get the grind done, the better. Sooner we can just power through everything.
Like this turtle here sitting at Zot 1.
Yeah, it turns out when we scattered the 4 fiends from Baron Castle, Kainazu came here and decided he wanted to defend the Tower of Zot as well.
It's not the worst place to see it because it doesn't have a whole lot of HP here, but then again, the party doesn't have a lot of HP either. Other than that, Sid.
Yeah.
That lit is a little bit early.
They're putting out some damage though.
Palom is probably not going to survive this.
Yep, he did not.
The other 2 did, so I think we're still okay here.
Yeah, I think the goal at this point is try and get Kainazu weak enough that we can get other people back up.
Alright, so this is going to be put in the center by Matic because he has more accuracy with that weak spell there. Last thing I want to do is miss a weak spell on the D-Machine there, so...
Yeah, that's never a good idea.
All right, Kainazo is in the shell, so I think we're almost through this.
Yeah, it looks like Grant's just trying to get people back up, and then...
It ignores Tella, because Tella gets the experience regardless, and honestly, we prefer he doesn't get the experience anyways. No choice, though.
Yeah. But I'm not sure we're going to be able to out-damage this remedy with just a couple characters. It looks like Sid and Rosa working together might be able to do it. There they go.
Twin Magic was also an option because Callum and Form were both in the party, but they're both kind of low level for that.
Yep. Palom needs spells. And meanwhile, Matic is taking out the beamers, getting ready to do this D-Machine grind.
And meanwhile, as our objectives said from earlier, we're about to find out who the traitor is assisting whoever the boss is up here today who did the kidnapping.
As well as the kidnappee.
True, the kidnappee. Oh, look, double vanilla.
Oh, naturally.
So Kane
Naturally,
is the one
Kane is the
dupe
traitor.
The seed. And Golbez is in his vanilla spot, the Dwarf Castle.
Yep.
Now, we know it can't be Vanilla Rosa on the chair because there's only one dupe and it's Kane. So
yeah,
every character we see is on there just once.
We did use up our only dupe. But that is a Fusoya. Wow. I mean, it makes sense. Tie up the Lunarian.
Yes, tie up the most effective Black Mage, the one who can actually bonk you to your senses, right?
Yep. I think, yeah, Sid's time in the party was great, but it's time for him to go. And it's also time for Kane to go.
That was funny.
I mean, I can get behind it.
A little bit of a fake out on Kane. From the traitor.
There is a little bit of danger if we do run into a Vivalis, but it's not that bad with the Heroine Robe.
It all depends on where Val happens to be, and is it required where Val happens to be?
Those are also very good points.
And while this D-Machine grind is ongoing, we will take a minute to remind everyone that the Survivor Club is the ACs usually start on Saturday evenings and run for about a week, and anyone is free to join and vote on heroes to be removed from the group at some point down the line. The community gets to vote on who the hero is of the week who runs, but the ones who get voted off, you have to actually run the races to do that. And of course, if you run and you win, you get to decide how the flag set evolves, because there are 21 challenges to pick, and not every one of them will be picked this season. So I can't even tell you how the season's gonna end up with the flag set yet.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's only 12 heroes.
Well, some might question whether there's 12 or not. That's a whole other matter of opinion.
This is true.
Algret gets through the Dark Elf at the top of Zot. Now we're going to see... Well, it was definitely worth it for the Foo, if nothing else.
Yes, it was worth it for the Foo. It was worth it for the objective. Because Matic will have to do the Tower of Zot at some point, no matter what. Unless... Well, could skip the Tower of Zot, but would have to then do everything else.
And Matic is done.
Matic is indeed done. We're going to get lots of levels on this party. With only white mages and Zerkers, especially Kane and Sid not being young, the Steam Machine isn't as effective as it could be, but it's still going to be effective in making this party strong enough to handle anything.
A white spear over on Tall Grant's side.
Ooh. Should have taken Kane.
Well, if Ed shows up along the lines, you can always dart that white spear.
I mean, Tall Grant also has not taken the Kane on the moon.
I've said no to the cane in yeah, and I'm not sure he's gonna take it if it shows up again in the Dias for him.
That's very fair.
And maybe if that Val happens to be somewhere where you need King to step in, maybe, but
I think at this point Rosa can technically get through her no matter what. It's just a matter of how annoying is the fight going to be and how long is it going to take for Rosa to do all of the damage she needs to do.
speaking of an annoying fight, we have D-Lunars at Giant 1, and Medic
Ooh,
says
oh
no to that.
no. No, 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 we don't want anything to do with that. They have 50,000 HP apiece, and Medic forgot to turn off encounters.
Yep. Luckily saved though before doing that, so we'll just reset and avoid that problem.
Yep.
Always a caution when running D-Money. It's like, remember turning counters off before you start moving, because otherwise you could run into something that ruins your whole day there.
Yes. The last thing you want to do when doing a D-Machine grind is do a second D-Machine grind.
Indeed. It's not like any of us have ever done that before on stream either, right?
No, never.
I probably don't because I usually forget the D-Money is an option, but that's a whole other story of still haven't learning how to play this game.
D-Machine is a useful tool when you do it, or when it is relevant, and when it is not relevant, it's like I am not a lover of the D-Machine grind. I recognize that it's useful and it is important for certain things, but I never want to do it.
Attic is taking the whale over to Baron, so we're gonna try to intimidate whatever is in this castle here.
I mean, I would be intimidated as well if an airship the size of my castle landed outside.
And it looks like it's gonna eat you too. I mean, you know, the whole whale thing there.
Yeah. Certainly does have a little bit of that appearance.
Alright, so Matic is gonna go after the Baron that we have already seen. Maybe we'll check the basements. I don't think that Grant showed us what the basement was, did he?
No, Grant did not. Grant did the main check, got the character out of Baron, who I've already... Oh, the Palin out of Baron.
Mhm.
And then decided to be done and come back for the basement later.
Which is probably a fair play, because unless that basement happens to be free in the situation, then it's not easy to get with the levels that he's at.
Yeah. And, ooh, this Val in Dwarf Castle is going to be rough for Grant.
Yep, I mean, about 78,000 HP, so it's not the worst in the world, but at the same time...
No, but the spin is going to be in full effect here.
Yep,
And for this party of
unfortunately.
mages, we're going to be relying on Rosa.
Unless who can get this nuke off before... Yeah,
Nope.
it's not gonna work.
Yep, this is not a nukeable Val. Sometimes she has a lot of magic defense, but she's still nukeable. This is not one of those times.
Oh, Rosa's gonna get to work with Zerking.
By missing.
Uh-oh.
This is not good.
Missing again. Oh, dear.
Yeah, she has 4 or 5 evasion rolls here that you gotta chew through, and Rosa, when she's not in the middle slot, is not gonna be able to hit accurately through all of those.
Yep, so we have to slow it down here and use the aim command instead of Zerking.
Yeah, you're gonna have to use the aim command here on Rosa to get through this, I think.
A little bit slower, but it will work eventually.
It will,
And
but this is going to give a lot of time back to Medic.
As I feel very bad if there's nothing behind this dwarf check. I mean, the warp glitch is on, so at least there's 2 checks here. And we know that Golbez is actually behind here. He did Tower of Zot, so he knows he has to do this. So I guess that's kind of why he's going for it again.
Yeah, there is an objective here. Yeah, Fu's not gonna be fast enough.
Nope. So we're gonna have to do the
You're
aim.
gonna have to aim through this whole pile of hit points.
Now I think Grant did buy the arty arrow, so it should be at least some decent damage coming out.
Okay, that's only 10 arrows or so.
And Grant is saying maybe let's come back a little bit later and retry this.
Or maybe we should not do this at battle speed 5.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. That was a try to get the nuke in time. It's just not going to work.
Yeah, it's just not gonna work with this party, unfortunately. It's not that Thu isn't fast enough, it's that there's not enough other characters that are fast enough.
We're going to blame Tella for this particular situation. I think Grant does have a cursed ring, so I mean, I'm not sure if that would help any.
Uh, I don't believe it would versus a single enemy. It might, but it would be pretty tight. And that is, ooh, that's not a good weak target. Meanwhile, Matic is going to show us who is at the Baron basement.
Oh dear. That fatal was a little bit mistimed because Tella already went down.
Yeah. Ooh, Rosa only has a great bow. That explains why the Berserk did not work. Great bow is not known for its accuracy.
Yeah, it's a bit misnamed, unfortunately.
It
The
is great
unfortunate,
in size only.
yeah, the unfortunate thing is there is a better bow available, but it has not been found yet. We see that it is a noodle in the basement of Baron. This is going to be
Interesting.
pretty nasty with the Ice 2s because they're going to be pretty powerful at this point, but with all the HP that Attic has, I think most of them are going to survive it other than Tella or Porum.
Yeah. Uh, I do think this makes it, the beginning of the game make a lot more sense, you know. Baron was after the Mysidia's water crystal, and I think I totally understand why. They had a sea snake as their king.
It's actually a bit of an elemental problem. It's like you had the fire element as the fake king, you had the water elemental as the true king.
Yeah, it makes
Then you had,
sense.
then you had all four of them as a mishmash guarding the thing. So, so remember the elemental confusion we had earlier? We're going to blame the whole thing on the very weird royal situation at Baron. And Matic is through and has liberated or did not liberate, defeated the Baron basement throne. What is the reward for this? It is an Avenger.
I mean, great for Kane.
Yeah, so that Kane is turning out to be quite the take here from Matic that unfortunately Talrand does not have access to, but there is still a Cecil on the table somewhere in the seed. So that Avenger could work for him too. Oh, we know there's an Xcale because you can buy it.
Yeah, we'll see. This fight is going a little bit sideways for Tolgrant. This is not ideal situation.
I'm trying to think of when Val would be an ideal situation at all.
Yeah,
Well, that weak miss, that's helpful.
yeah. Porum is down. That's not helpful.
And Rosa just got weak, so we're down to 5 HP between the whole party here.
That's fine.
Oh,
Val's
and we're
gone.
down.
See? 5 HP. Plenty.
And also useful for Golbez because 3 people are down now, as it turns out.
Yeah, we know who our 2 party members will be.
Unless we swap one out for whoever this fresh new face is going to be.
It's definitely worth considering at this point. Having a chance at a character with more than single-digit HP is pretty good, especially if that character's edge.
Yes.
Yeah, we don't need Porum anymore.
Yeah, Porum is a little bit on the weak side as far as HP goes, so makes sense.
Uh,
It,
we also have. She's also our third white mage. We really don't need three white mages.
you don't want to white Golbez to death? I'm not white Zeramis to death?
No, no, not really.
I mean, even if there's a delay on the spell, but you know. So we're seeing the comedian on Paul Grant's side, the mastermind behind this whole reality TV series, who takes out that edge and returns it back to 5 HP. Just where we
Yeah,
want it.
we can't have triple digit HP on the team.
Rosa gets off a Star Veil, which is half the battle because Obez's magic kind of stinks here, so you're not going to be able to reflect the damage back onto him anytime quickly. So you need to get some damage out here.
But also, if Golbez managed to hit Rosa with that virus at this HP, she's gone.
Well, this is true. I mean, it's not so much that you're trying to kill him with the reflex; you're just trying to save your own bacon here,
Yep.
which
But
makes
that
sense
is
because our hero is bacon.
that's it. Golbez is very confused that Palamorn knows how to cast Quake.
And Golbez is down. The objective is marked. Who is at full power? And the hand of Golbez is going to steal whatever this particular item is. And then because of the warp glitch is going to basically drop it and we're going to take it from him anyways.
Yep. Meanwhile, Matic is making great progress on these objectives, has already defeated the Baron Basement, gets the info about Golbez from the Tower of Zot. We'll see where they go. I expect probably straight to Dwarf Castle after this Tower of Zot, knowing the objective is here.
I would imagine so.
And Dwarf Castle gives the Adamant Rock, so that's a pretty required Dwarf Castle.
Yeah, you have no choice because it blocks at least 2 objectives. And you find there's a hook here too, so
yeah, we'll take that. Maybe we'll trade in our Rat Tail.
yeah, the rat tail we've had burning a hole in the pocket since the seed began, because it was the starting item. We also have access to the hook route, although we're not going to take it because there's no more boss hunt to go on.
Yeah, and I think it's a little bit late in the seed to be going that far out of the way for just a character check.
Or a shop check in this case. I mean, it is wild shops, but I mean, Matic has already done the grind. Paul Grant might be looking maybe for something to help with it, but you know, it's not like this is a gated shop because all the shops are wild this time.
Yeah, there is no difference between any of the shops.
Except one difference. Cole's shop usually stinks because it just seems that's the way it rolls.
Hey, I have seen the rare S-Wild useful Cokel shop. It does exist.
It's probably about as rare as getting Pink Puff to drop an Adamant.
I don't
there's
think it's not that rare.
There's
I'm not
crystal
saying it
swords
has to
for
have
sale.
all the good items. It just has to have a good item. I've had like Bacchus wines be locked in there.
Okay, but I mean, you know, that
Also, this is what happens when you use white as your primary damage spell. Dark Elf looks at it and says, "Thank you for giving me 7,000 hit points."
we saw that crystal swords are for sale, so if Cecil is in the seed, which we know he kind of is, just in case of aware, yeah, that would be helpful for Cecil. But knowing the way the seed's going, he's probably behind that D-Lunars and the Giant, and we're never going to see him.
Yeah, probably. Oh well.
Paul is going to check out the Feymarch freebie. It is a pink tail, so there's a free adamant armor. Because adamants are on.
A bonus adamant armor when we go turn in our rat tail. That'll be very nice.
See the very rare hourglass ones for sale.
Yeah. In most settings of the rando, hourglass 2s are the only hourglasses that are for sale. But in S-Wild, hourglass 1s and hourglass 3s do return.
There's a Thunderclaw, which would have been helpful for that turtle a little while ago.
And we are
Armor,
Tall Grant is buying the Archer Bow because it is a better bow than the Great Bow.
you love to see it. Spoiler alert, there is actually an Elven Bow that is available in this seed. But, you know, I'm not going to go hunting for it now.
Yeah, that's a lot of work. There's no reason to check the Feymarch bosses because K-Summon is not on.
Yep,
And we've already found Golbez.
Yep, and no demist hunt, so yep, it's totally useless whatever is down there. I'm even going to say hi just for the sake of memes.
Yeah, no reason to. Instead, it's time to probably go trade in our tails.
Yep, so you know there's going to be an adamant armor out of one of them. The question is, what's the other one going to give us?
Yeah, that is a very good question. And I think what Grant is really looking for at this point is to pull this 10th key item very quickly. Because he is sitting on 9 key items right now. He's trying to pull out probably the Rat Tail turn in first, just in case it's the Pan for routing efficiency, and then if the Pan shows up, we're chasing that Pan. Or the Twin Harp, because that's an objective as well. Really, anything that shows up would be great, just to get that doubled experience.
You will even take a Luca key.
Oh yeah. It counts as doubled experience, that's all that matters. Although this cannot be the Luca key. Because our hook came out of the sealed cave, technically. But the Sander Bead, that works, that's a 10th key item.
It is also a character check if you want to try for the Cecil Lottery.
Yeah.
And there's the Adamant Armor. I don't think we're going to sell it, unfortunately.
No, it's a little bit too useful.
It looks like Tall Grant is now going to check out the barren basement that was faded earlier.
Yeah.
Does he need to heal? Because if he doesn't, this is going to be a one shot.
That would not be good. That is not a recipe for success.
No, Noodles are very tricky about that. No matter how leveled you are, at 1 HP is not going to work.
For many bosses, this would be fine. You know, punchy bosses, whatever. 1 HP, just don't get hit. For Leviathan, Leviathan just says, if anyone's at 1 HP, they're falling over right away.
Yep, and you can't get a one-shot here because there's too much HP. It ain't going to work either.
There is way too much HP for that.
It is the Sid and Tella show over here on Golbez.
Not ideal, but I don't think Sid is going to fall over. I think Sid is going to be able to pull this out.
Yep, and did. If Virus landed on Tella, it'd still have been about the same because, yeah.
Yeah, Sid can do this by himself.
And down goes Tella because he's anchoring even though he's not really anchoring. All right, so Grant is getting through this Nope Noodle anyways.
Yep. Rosa taking the ice too is not great. But Fu's doing great work with nukes. Palom is doing good work with some quakes.
Benefit of the Adamant Armor, 1 HP from that Ice 2 as opposed to 1200 plus on Rosa.
Yeah, and Leviathan is gone. So our runners are just about even now, although Matic already has the grind done.
Yep. Can't be a key item here because of we already know it's the Avenger anyways because Matic already did it. Hello.
But K-Summon is also not on, so it wouldn't be included in the key item pool.
Yeah. Kind of amusing how the two random quests that the seed picked here are both dead ends because the package and the throne can't give you anything.
Yeah, no, the seed said, hey, we're gonna give you a couple of dead end things that don't actually help you advance at all. You can just unlock these and then do them whenever you're ready.
It also gave the vanilla Zod just for the total hilarity of Tell actually facing off against what really happened. I
Yeah,
swear the randomizer actually reads the story threads and tries to create something that actually fits. I don't know how that works, but I'm heads up to the or kudos I guess to the workshop helpers who designed all that. It's like it's a very educated AI.
oh yeah. No, it even chooses like thematic harp songs and Z sprites every
We'll
now
see
and
how
then.
we'll see how true that is as we get a little bit later on here.
It's not a foolproof system. There's, but sometimes.
Well, it can't be foolproof. I mean, you can't be better than the game that it was based off of, which is programmed so excellently, right?
Oh no, no, couldn't possibly.
Grant has raised the whale.
Yep. Gonna make sure that he can head up to the moon. Maybe we'll see a giant grind. Maybe we're just gonna dive right into moon checks because I believe the only checks Tall Grant is leaving behind on the blue planet are Sheila 1 and Kiwa's Tower.
That is correct. Those are the two things faded, and it looks like Matic is faded the same too. We have not seen Sheila or Keyless on his side either. So
Yep.
this is very interesting to see how this is going to end up playing out.
I
It's not
mean,
really an early moon dive.
both are very fair fades. Both can be checked later with another key item, the pan in the case of Sheila, or the tower key in the case of the tower, to make them a little more efficient. Though we do see Matic is now going to go do the Sheila setup. Fading Sheila is a little bit of a harder sell just because the only thing you have to do is walk through the Sylph Cave. No boss fight, just walk through the Sylph Cave and then go to Fabul.
I think the thing that works against it is you have to take those two long walks, and if it turns out to be nothing, it's like yeah, walk the stealth cave again anyways, knock down with the pan. So
Yeah.
in person, I would have checked keyless first just to see if the pan was actually there before trying this, but that's just me.
Well,
And since I don't tend to be winning a whole lot of races, never mind what my opinion is on this.
climbing up the tower is also a long walk. With a boss fight at the end.
This is true. We don't even know what that boss fight is because we haven't been down the.
No,
road
it's
to
a
find
it's a
out.
mystery boss. So I am 100% on board with the Sheila play first because what if Sheila has the tower key?
He could. There's a
It's the
chance that
same
he could.
exact thing. Like, what if Pan is at top of tower? What if Sheila has the tower key? Or what if Sheila has the Pan? There's all sorts of what if games we could play, and they're all equally likely.
Speaking of games, we see that Mylan and Friends is hanging out at the Murasame altar.
Yep. Turns out the first of Zeromus's 5 most loyal henchmen who are guarding the most prized possessions of the lunar subterrane is Mylon and his friends. They count as one henchman, by the way.
Well, if that Mylan goes down before the gases do, those gases can be pretty darn ghastly.
They sure can, but one quake will take care of them.
Yeah, I would like to see at one point, some one of these days, someone actually forget that and then realize, oh yeah, the gas are gonna
Oh,
just
right.
destroy the party.
It is always fun to see the guests start punching and then suddenly they've done quad nines to your character. And it's like, oh, I
Sheila
maybe
has
shouldn't have done that.
Sheila has Hanzo Steel, so not the best of thing.
Okay. I'm a little concerned that Sheila wanted to go wanted us to go take that Murasame and like use it to wake Yang up. But, sure, I guess.
It would have woken him up. It might have put him back to sleep again, but it would have woken him up.
Yeah. Looks like Tall Grant has opted for use the moon to grind. Which is, a valid grind.
Ooh, value. There's a twin
That
harp.
is definitely value, and that does me, honestly, seeing that twin harp, yeah, I say bail. You can come back for the rest of the moon.
You've got to come back anyways, so yeah.
You may as well bail. Don't walk to the bottom of the moon. Sure, the Legend or Adamant or the Legend Sword or package might be down there, but the Legend Sword or package might be at the Twin Harp, and you've got to do the Twin Harp anyway, unless you're counting on finding both at Legend Sword and package.
And given the way the randomizer distributes items, the moon tends not to have more than what, about 2 or 3 key items at max?
Yeah.
2, really. So it's like you've already found one. What are the odds that one of the other of them is exactly the package or the Legend Sword? Better like taking 3 key main checks on Earth and then taking 4 more altars on the moon.
Yes. It is probably better, especially just to go chase this Twin Harp at least. See what this objective is. See if this is going to lead you to your go mode. Matic is following right behind, heading to the Murasame altar first, and oh boy, that's a lot of extra chocobos.
Indeed, I think we've had a little bit of a overflow error there somewhere. My goodness.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. We talked to one black chocobo and suddenly there's 50. I didn't even think there were that many in the game.
I guess chocobos sort of are acting a bit like the naming way rabbits in this particular game. I don't know.
Sure. I suppose.
Yeah, we can't give you the music here on Tall Grant's side because we don't have the audio for this VOD, just as a reminder. So we'll see if Tall Grant gives us a peek at what the title of this music is, but we're not going to be able to actually hear it.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. I expect we will get to hear it from Matic, though, given the check that Matic is making right now.
I would imagine, but it's always possible that once on the moon you just clear the moon, but...
that is possible.
Strategic scumming is often advisable on the moon.
Yes, but you can't exactly scum out of the Twin Harp, with it being an objective.
This is true. So as Mylon's body crumbles, Eddie's body is getting out of bed.
Matic has picked up their Twin Harp, will be not leaving the moon.
Yeah, so a few more checks coming here from Matic before we'll see him take on this Twin Harp.
Yep, we may be looking to be in go mode before going to check that. And oh, it's a Xenogear song. Gosh dang it. I wanted to listen to that.
I think we'll have a chance later. I mean, this is kind of funny. It's like the Z couldn't even know you were commenting on this particular game tonight because it wasn't even in the cards originally.
Yeah, surprise. I'm here.
Speaking of surprises, we have a Mylon Z here. We're going to nuke it anyways because Nuke overcomes the high magic defense in this area.
Yeah.
And Edge's Dart, well, that can overcome pretty much anything in this spot. So it's going to be a very brief rendition of music on Tall Grant's side, but is this value?
And I expect it will also be brief on Matic's side. And that's a tower key. That is maybe value. That'll push Tall Grant towards the tower.
It also adds another K main check. So now we've got the tower, and we know Shield 1's a bust, but there's still two other
Oh,
options going
yeah,
here.
the full power is available, and that's 2 chances to find Go mode. Matic has opted for Crystal Sword Altar over the bottom. This, I feel, is a little bit of an interesting play, just because Crystal Sword does take a while to get to, comparatively, and it's not really that much different to go to the bottom of the moon, where it's a little bit denser. But oh boy, hi TKC.
Well, this is going to be a very long fight, at least, because that's going to be free.
Yes. Very good that we were already grinded up.
Is it value, though?
No. No, it is not.
An apple a day does not keep the DKC away. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Grant is headed to the tower, chasing that gamble of taking that harp. Gotta chase the tower key at least. Probably will take on the top of tower as well, knowing that Kiwa's tower is not super popular.
Yep, and let's see. So we're going to look at the bottom altars here on the moon first.
Yep, Matic has arrived at the bottom of the moon now. Going to skip the White Spear, heading straight. There are 2 checks in the Ribbon Room. This does make sense.
You.
Yeah, Odin is fine.
There's a
Odin
lot
is certainly
of...
worthy of being one of Zeromus's 5 best minions.
This is
Which,
true.
honestly, that DKC at Crystal Sword Altar, definitely worthy.
I mean, that Zenitsuken's gonna hurt here if it gets off.
Yes. If.
Yeah, true. You've got Fu nuking some Odin here, so not get off. You got a
Oh, hi,
Wyvern
Wyvern.
at the top of tower, and the Wyvern, or the Witchburn rather, is Heat Ray.
It's a very good thing this spot has no magic. Heat Ray hurts.
Well, it can if it's somewhere nasty.
Yes, Heat Ray can really hurt if it's somewhere nasty. This spot, not so much.
We're going to Quake a dragon that does not fly.
No, it doesn't fly. It's just a dragon that's sitting on the ground. And turns out
Moonveil
Odin was
and
guarding a
Hanzo.
Masa and a Moondale.
And that is a reset.
Yep. There's the Legend Sword, by the way, at the top of tower. So that's all you had to do. Just do Kiwa's tower.
You still would have had to do the Mura altar because that had both
Yes.
the Twin Harp and the being able to get your other part of Go mode there.
Well, no, you don't need the tower key to get to the top of tower.
No, but you needed the Twin Harp. You need to complete that though.
Yes.
The tower key is not necessary, but doing the Mura altar into Twin Harp is.
Mura Halter to Twin Harp, absolutely, yes. So you would need to get the tower key, I suppose, but you don't actually need to do Super Cannon. Anyway, Bahamut is here on the moon. I don't know who let Bahamut up here. That's not a scary fight.
Not in this spot, it isn't.
What spot is it a scary fight? Please enlighten me.
Yeah, on the moon, probably not. I mean, it doesn't do any attacks. Yeah, not really. But...
I suppose maybe if you're unanchored and you're doing it in Sealed Cave, maybe.
Or if you have no Star Veils and you're kind of unanchored, yeah, that could also be a bad
That could be bad, yeah, but
We're going to do the Forge now and get the Crystal for Go mode.
Yep. Tallgrant is entering Go mode. Does have a bit of leveling to do to catch up to Matic's power, and Coco had cabins. That's something.
cabins and not much else. And an Ashura rod. So,
Hey, Palom can use that. Because somehow I don't think Tell is going to get to use the Asura Rod.
yeah, Tala is not exactly maybe contributing much damage to this particular fight.
But we do find that Antlion is in his natural habitat. Very good.
Very punchy spot this place is, too.
Yes.
So let's see, where does Tall Grant go?
Hmm.
Well, this would be a thing if the pass was in existence, but it isn't.
Shopping?
Starvale.
Starvales. Ah, we are setting up for Fu and Friends. It's like Milon and Friends, except better.
There's a pan that Matic finds. We know that isn't going to have any required value, but it will drive him back towards the earth.
And it could give access to the package. We do not know where the package is yet. Although the package could also just be behind that tower key. So...
I think that's about the only place it can be, because we're out of
those are
check.
those are the two places that that package can be.
Yeah, we've seen all the moon altars, so there's no other place left.
Grant is now landing on the moon as Matic leaves. Runners swapping planets. Or, well, the moon is not a planet, I guess. Planetoids.
It depends on what Zoromus thinks of the moon. I mean, he might think of it as a planet.
I mean...
Kind of rules it like one.
Technically, the moon is a spaceship.
Yeah, cave value is actually not part of K-Moon at all.
Yeah,
so...
the only thing that affects Cave Bahamut being a check is if K-Summon is on. K-Moon does not have to be on for Cave Bahamut to be a check. It is purely a K-Summon check. So we do not need to do Cave Bahamut in this seed.
I mean, you could if you hadn't found Golbez yet, but...
Yeah, it's a place where Golbez could be hanging out, but no need.
Yeah, with the knowledge we have, we're not going to check it at all.
No.
Unless we were trying to do maybe a Bahamut grind, but even so, there's better grinds to take than that.
Yeah. Honestly, with this party, you're better off taking, like, random encounters on LST Floor 4. Hoping to find gold dragons there, or warlocks there.
I think you might have gotten one or two sirens in the starting kit, too. I mean, those can also be...
Yeah, and those are great for gold dragons. Yeah, let's use those up. Although I think Grant doesn't need them. Matic is going to give us a quick glimpse of music. Hopefully we actually get to hear some of it.
We'll get to hear a few bars, at the very least.
Yeah.
Alright, so Tall Grant looks like he's going to do some grinding on the moon with burning that cabin here.
And it does look like it is time for us to be quiet as Matic is heading into music.
Unfortunately, a bit of a short rendition there of the music from Xenogears, but at least we got in there.
Yeah, we got to hear almost half of the song.
And Odin has Odined Tall Grant's party.
Ooh, that's not good. I think Grant was trying to use this fight for experience, so that's gonna be no experience, none experience.
Well, it's on two characters that can least use it effectively.
Yes. Does get a Masa for Edge though. That's worth keeping. Or no,
Or
we're gonna
not.
reset and try again. I think we're gonna reset and try and get the key experience to actually stick on the party.
Lit arrows, gonna equip that archer, so okay, that's it's a little better at least.
Yep, Medic is going to go chase the pan instead of the tower key. This does make sense. The pan is a little bit of a faster check than going up the tower. Although we know Go mode just lies at the top of tower.
Yep, I mean, and Medic also knows that Shield of One doesn't have it, so this is one check versus two checks if you went to the tower.
Yeah. But I can't fault it. Really.
Let's see if the Sylphs give anything useful for the effort. They do not. They just have a silver apple, which is not helping Yang at all. I mean, he's not
No.
dead.
Odin has raised the sword again. We're trying to get through.
Elo's trying to help.
There's one more nuke coming. Maybe this'll do it.
Ooh, no. One more lit arrow. No.
Lit 3.
Great. Hopefully that quad 9 will do it. There
Yep,
we
that
go.
does it. Okay. Whew. Grant gets all the experience on all the characters who need it now. Rosa gets Cure for Life too. Palom is getting some levels, sure. We're gonna get Edge up there as well. Sheila hands over her Murasame, and then we trade the pan in. That's just a Luca key. We don't need the Luca key. So
Yeah,
it looks like that tower was pretty required.
Yeah, because now it has to have the package behind the cannon room. Which also means we're not going to see it because,
Yeah,
mean,
I feel like
we
Matic.
could.
We could see Matic be like, okay, I know that these are the only two checks left. Either one gives me go mode. I'm just gonna do the super cannon room and not worry about the boss at the top because that's gonna take slightly longer. Or I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
Because
it's extra walk, and I mean, yeah, this does have a cutscene to do the cannon room, but I think it's faster to take the
I
cannon
think
room.
it's faster. Yes, it would be faster. And if Matic has been keeping track of where things have to be, they should know that the super cannon will give them go mode because the top of tower will have the other piece of go mode. I think they'll be disappointed when they find out it's the package. Because
Yeah,
the
'cause
Legend
I
Sword
mean,
is a faster go mode than the package is.
aside from the fact that it is, also the forge item and such, but he doesn't have Palom, so it's not as big of a deal to miss it.
Yeah. Still the package has a sequence of cutscenes that you have to sit through, whereas Forge is Forge.
If the pass was in the seed, the package might not be so big. It's like it's right there, right next to Troya, but not there. Meanwhile, Tall Grant has decided to engage Z.
Yep, it is that time of the seed. It is time for us to find out whose butt we're gonna kick tonight.
Yeah, we are even getting a Z flags here in chat. I mean, we must have run out of flags.
Yeah, I don't know. Something went wrong at the flag factory. I don't know if you hear. I'm surprised you didn't hear about the accident.
Did it involve a Detective Drebin somehow?
I believe it did.
That explains everything then. Oh, drum roll, please. Whose butt are we going to kick tonight? It happens to be something very large.
Yes, Archdamus, I think?
What game is this from, chat?
I don't know. A big sprite that looks very good.
Is there any sprite that doesn't look good in this thing?
Um, there are sprites that are uncomfy.
I admit the ad blocker one I think is one of the lousier ones, but yeah. Hmm. I find that it's Yang here behind the package.
And the orbs are back.
This is also full circle because we originally interrupted Yang with having tea, and now Yang is the one who basically gets to watch as some relation or other is killed here in Mist Village. Not sure quite how that works.
Yeah, also, Pella is using the computer that he broke up on Mount Ordeals to destroy the village.
This is why you shouldn't let Tella repair electronics either. He turned it into a murderous bunch of village burning orbs.
Yeah, probably not a good idea.
We got Fu and friends on the way over on Tallgrant's side.
Yeah, but I'm not sure you meant to tip. I believe Tallgrant just tipped and just got an HP refill, so that's probably not ideal.
Let's see. Is direct casting,
I
so probably
yeah,
knows he did. Okay.
yeah. Uh, we had a nuke that did not get countered, and that wall wore off. That's not good.
Oh dear. And we're crystalling again. Oh dear.
Yeah, just to try and make sure we can get the nerf timing, which I understand. But that's Fu is gone.
And this is going to be
The
reset for it.
friends are not going to win that fight by themselves.
Well, the reason
And
it's
that'll
called Fu and
give.
friends because the friends don't really matter in that equation other than them being
Yes, the friends are helpful, but they are not the Fu is the carrier of the fight. But this is giving Matic the time that he needs to catch up. Matic is heading into the moon now. Still has to walk down the moon, but I think if Grant takes another wipe, Matic may have this race.
yeah, because Matic is not going to be doing Fu and friends. Matic is
No,
probably doing
Matic
straight out
has
with all the
power.
others.
Matic has power overwhelming. Matic is not going to have a Z wipe, most likely. It's always possible, but I don't think Matic is in a situation where he's going to be facing a Z wipe.
All right, so while we wait for the Z fights to recommence here, again, thanks to Joker Mage for running the restream here of the VOD review, Narocod pushing all the buttons, and Xenocat for joining me in the commentary booth. It's been wonderful working with you so far, and hopefully we do this again real soon.
Yeah, it has been a blast being on comms tonight. Especially for such a thematic club with lore behind it. I am always a fan of lore in my free enterprise.
Speaking of which, it might not be tonight, but I will be dropping the lore for the first two seeds. I kind of held back the season because if we're going to do a VOD restream, I probably shouldn't be spoiling it before we actually do it. I mean, I know that some people can't wait usually for some of the storylines, but it's like, yeah, I think we can. How can we find out more about the club? There is a channel in the club list, Survivor Hero Island. You can see the rules there, the design, You can join the club if you'd like, or join async. There's no obligation. Run one race, you can run them all. You can just run the races you want. Yeah, and if you do happen to join, you get a chance to vote possibly on how the flag sets progress and which heroes stay in and which heroes go out. Unlike season one, whoever gets booted this season is gone for good. There is no coming back. So it's not permadeath in the sea, but it's permadeath on the voting. And the way it works is every time there's a vote, whoever's heroes have run since the last vote is eligible. So the first seed, we had Kane as the hero. Now we have Tella, so the vote is between Kane and Tella. One of those two is going to survive and be in the whole rest of the season. The other one is going to be taking a seat.
Ah. Well, we will have to stay tuned for that vote. Keep an eye on that channel, because I know I am curious to see who will be voted off.
Actually, we're going to be announcing the vote after the Z's are done.
Ooh.
There'll also be a special guest interview coming up after the race is over as well. Just very briefly to sort of set up a little bit of the club's lore, and because we like having fun with this whole thing, this is meant to be a bit of a joke in a certain sense, and I like having fun with it. I hope everyone who is watching and reading also enjoys it. So, it's a lot of fun.
Hey, fun is always good in free enterprise.
And even better, it's like for the Enterprise itself, it's free.
Yeah.
You don't have to pay for it.
Oh, the Z fights are happening, spells are flying, damage is being done. I don't know who's ahead anymore.
I'm going to say that the viewers are ahead.
That's always a good a safe bet.
All right, we have got Crystal shenanigans going on. We've got Cure 4 shenanigans going on. We've got Avenger shenanigans. So
Yep. Grant is being a little more careful about reflecting damage this time. Doesn't want to accidentally tip like the last Z fight.
yeah, it's a big difference between 65,000 HP and 120,000.
Yeah. That was not a great Big Bang.
Oh dear.
Hopefully we're most of the way through this fight, though I'm not sure we are.
There's a black hole. Okay.
We're gonna restart Vale. Yep, that makes sense.
And they were going to hope we get one more nuke off, and that nuke is going to be exactly what does it. There's a shake.
Yeah, this... I don't know that we get this Cure... Okay, we do get the Cure 3. That might be enough to postpone the inevitable.
You do need the Big Bang to roll a little bit on the low side, though.
Yeah, or Fu to just dodge some rolls. Come on, Fu.
Oh!
That might be fine-ish. It's okay. That's reflected damage. Thank you, Zeromus, for the free damage.
We get the Cure 3 off. Get a black
That
hole
Cure
again.
3 did not heal us enough. But we're kind of running out of those. Yeah, this is one of those situations where we just kind of need to go for the nuke.
Oh no, Big Bang got off before we could even do
That's
that.
not good for Grant.
Oh,
Oh, that hurts. Well, he is right back at it, heading right back in. Matic is, meanwhile, getting through this fight pretty safely. Fu is down, but that's not the end of the world. The rest of the party has lots of hit points. It is taking a while. We don't have the best damage output with Sid and Kane.
I think the best you can say is they're helping.
They're helping. They're doing the work. It's just not very fast.
It takes a nuke to face.
Okay, Grant has decided to get a few more levels, which will help make the friends a little bit stronger. Antlion's not necessarily the best boss to do that with, but it will work.
Well, unfortunately, we don't have our real choice of bosses here because, I mean,
They all kind of are terrible. And there are rocks falling on Maddox's screen. That is the fight on. Just gotta get a little bit more damage. And I believe that is
there's
GG's.
rocks. Okay, GG to Matic, the winner of the restream basically, and also actually turns out was the winner of the seed, the fastest time. Officially, let's see, it was 1:32.16. So GG to Matic. First out of the 4 racers who attempted this fun last week.
Yep, and with that, Grant is also through Antlion. Hooray! There's a little bit more power on this team. Not a lot, but a few more levels.
Yep, every little bit helps as far as it goes.
And worth noting that the runners were running this asynchronously, which means that they do not get to see when other people finish. They do not get to see like a dot done in the race from. Oh no! Grant has opened the wrong box.
Well, and Fu is almost out of magic here.
Yeah, this was the wrong box. This is not a good box.
Well, Bimmy and Jimmy strike again.
Yeah, Bimmy and Jimmy are not fun. Fu is out of MP. Palom is on the floor. And we did not save after Antlion. Oh dear. Oh no.
Luckily, Fu at least does have the adamant armor on, so that at least means he's not going to be knocked over by this whole thing.
That's good.
Unfortunately, I don't think. Okay, there are some ether ones. I mean,
there is an Artemis arrow. Rosa is going to use the Artemis arrow. That is good. If she can survive.
Okay, she's.
We're gonna use our Cure 3s here, I guess. Sure, that's less Cure 3s for the Z fight, but that's fine. Okay, right. Bimmy is gone. And Jimmy is also gone.
Alright. We got
Edge does not get the experience, but that's okay. Rosa gets white. That's very good. Palom does not get nuke, but he's very close.
Are we getting a chance with another box, though?
Are we? Please save. Please save. No, we're not saving.
We are swagging it.
Oh my goodness. Oh, okay.
All right, this is exciting.
Yeah,
we're gonna see one of two things here. We're either gonna see Z go down, or we're gonna see a forfeit. One of the two.
Yeah, if Z does not go down here, this is a bad wipe. But Rosa does have 2,200 hit points. This should be fine as long as we keep her up. She can hold off the bangs. Palom not quite having nuke is a little annoying, but we can get through this.
You can use Fire 3. It would be fine.
Yeah. Edge is still a character that exists and is going to be present for the fight.
If that spoon is there, just dart the spoon on his first
Yeah,
turn. And then,
we do still have the spoon, I believe.
Yeah, just dart the first turn and then sit back and watch the show. Right, so Grant is going to give it a third try here, and third time's the charm, right? Well, I think it's the charm anyways, so, yeah, here we go.
Yeah, we should be able to get through this. We've got a bit more power on this team. Palom taking the counter nuke is not ideal.
And he tips over just by a little bit.
Yeah, that is unfortunate.
And this Z is very fast.
Oh yeah. Tella's agility is probably in the 20s right now, which is not ideal.
Especially if it's 27, which is the worst agility to face Z would think out of all the agilities.
Mm-hmm. I don't think it's quite that high, but it's definitely not good. But Rosa at least has the white spell now, so she can actually contribute some pretty meaningful damage. We have thrown the spoon. Who's got nuke? Yeah. Palom's gonna help with virus. We're doing decent damage here.
Yeah, I think we're about close to halfway at this point.
Yep. This has turned into sort of reflect strats, although we'll see what we can get out before the second Big Bang. Nothing. Fu's gonna be fine. Palom might be fine. Palom is fine.
No. He's upright. Get Rosa back up. It's a star.
We're gonna re-up that wall on Fu right now. That makes sense. I don't know if Palom's gonna stay upright, but that's okay. Rosa is more important right now.
Indeed. Like give it a try. Nope. HP ran out.
No.
Sorry,
Palom's HP has run out. Sorry, Palom. You're gone. And we're just going to go for it because I think that's the right decision here. I think that these two spells will do it.
I think so. There's white. Would that be enough?
Not quite. But here's nuke. And that Xbox didn't disappear, so that is GG's to Tall Grant.
Finishing with a time of 1:40:37, so GG. Bit of an ordeal there with this Survivor flag. So we're only in week 2 here. My goodness.
Yeah, we had a near full clear between the runners.
We saw every spot actually between the two of them.
Indeed, we did.
All right. So for a little bit of housekeeping here, since Matic did win the race, for the next seed, which is currently ongoing, if anyone wants to join it, the information's in the Survivor Hero uh, Island channel. Chose to downgrade the treasures to Wildish and only max tier of 6. So no more of this wild loot anywhere. And for the next weekly race winner, they will not be able to change the glitches in effect on the seed. So the warp glitch, the back row glitch, and I think the life glitch will all stay in place at this point. All right, so that brings me to the next order of business, which is the vote. Which of these two heroes is going to be given the boot? We had 4 racers choose to cast votes in this particular elimination match, and we will start with the race winner. Attic chose to vote off Ella, oddly enough. Can't imagine why. That's 1 vote for Tella. We'll go to our other racer, Tall Grant, next. And it looks like Tall Grant has also chosen to vote against Tella. That is 2 votes for Tella, none for Kane.
Oh,
Let's see, this is going to be a tie. Let's go to our other racer on this particular seed, which was BG Rich. And BG Rich has also voted for Tella. So that's going to do it
ooh.
there. We have 1 more vote in the hopper from Scarcer, who did race the first race in this particular club and also voted for Tella. So it was unanimous. The racers did not want Tella to continue in the seed, or in the club season. And it makes sense because he's not the hero ever again, so he's going to just be dead weight any other time he shows up. So it kind of makes sense in a way. Which means our traitorous Dragoon will be with us the entire rest of the season to do all of his jumping hijinks. So yeah, we've got that going on.
Poor
And
Tella.
yeah, Tell a life. Unfortunately, he wins the fight against Z, and he gets kicked to the curb right away by a whole bunch of ingrates. But that is what it is. Tell a life. It is what it is at times. Final thing of the night before we happen to wrap it up, we do have a brief interview with our resident comedian, Olbez, the sort of host of this whole bunch of hilarity over at the Survivor Hero Island thing, currently streaming on the wonderful new platform because YTube got bought out last season. So instead, it's been merged with GGTube. So as a result, GGTube bound to have a whole another season going up, and they convinced Golbez to come back for another season. Go figure. So, Golbez, what made you decide to come and do a second season of this wonderful show? Well, I was in debt with the whole defense that the law firm of Golbez, and Golbez had to put on after my hijinks from the first season. And, no family discount. I owed money. So, one of the Golbezes arranged this little contract for me to get out of debt, as it were. Because let's face it, when you're a Dark Lord who has almost taken over the world, living in an airship down by the river with a whole bunch of minions who don't believe in showers and believe in less in toilets is just not a good life. All right. So, what made you decide to change up how you're running the club this season, Golbez, considering what you did last season? The whole taking over the world thing got a little bit old, and it was kind of lame having the heroes try to be in the background trying to mess things up because they never did it properly anyways. It's just more fun to just boot them into the volcano after the end of the show, right? All right, that sounds like it's exciting. Any questions for Golbezino?
None from me.
Okay, any questions for Golbez from chat? Looks like chat doesn't have anything to ask our resident comedian either. So we'll just ask Golbez to give us a little wrap up and be on to the next feed. Yes. So, anyways, episode 3 is currently taping. Alan was voted by the public as the choice for the third seed. So feel free to join that race, get the ratings up, because believe me, no one wants to live in an airship that is filled with monsters who don't believe in bathing at all. Even Sid's airship wash won't take the airship for cleaning anymore. All right, well, that sounds like a fun problem to have. Maybe you can run a car wash on the side there, Golbez. Anyways, that's it for us here. Thank you for joining us for the club highlight of the Survivor Hero Island. We'll be back again in 2 weeks to have another hilarious bit of comedy for you. Until then, my name is Garen, joined by Xenocat on the restream, on the commentary, with Joker Mage doing the restream, and NeroCod pushing all the buttons. Thank you and have a great night.
Yep, we will be sending you all over to GDQ, which is doing their annual marathon, AGDQ, right now. So, please enjoy all of the wonderful speedruns over there.